Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where today I'm going to give you the truth about the last year of high school. Listen guys, the last year of school is so important and you definitely don't want to make any major mistakes because this is you transitioning from school, high school, living with your parents to adulthood. So regardless if you're getting a job after high school or if you're planning on going to college, these are tips that are going to help you have a fun, easy, and purposeful last year. So let me start off with tip number 1, which is focused on classes. Make sure you take your classes seriously. I know it's so easy to get into the senioritis. You're about to graduate. Who cares? You got enough credits. But trust me, it can still go all wrong your last year. So make sure to show up for class because if you get too many absences, you will not graduate. Make sure you take your work and your homework and everything seriously because if you do not pass, you will not graduate. Also, if you took the time, like I mentioned in last week's video, to focus all of your heavier classes in your freshman and sophomore year and getting them done, then by the time you got into your senior year, you might have 2 or 3 major classes and the rest electives. And you still don't want to BS those classes, those electives. You still want to take them seriously because if you fail them, you still won't graduate. But you could be a lot more freer without the strain of having to do a whole lot of homework or 15 to 16 page papers or things like that. You might just have like maybe a quick test that you have to finish or something to that effect. Like with the classes that I took my senior year, one of them I was a student assistant, and all I had to do was grade papers and show up. So it can be a very easy process if you plan it out starting from your freshman year. But still, regardless of whether or not your classes are major or elective, take them seriously. The second tip I want to talk about is applying to colleges. Now, honestly, you want to get this started as soon as possible. You should truthfully be starting either like your sophomore or junior year, trying to figure out which schools you want to go to or you're thinking about applying to. The only reason why I say you need to do it early is because you want to make sure that every class that you're taking aligns with the requirements of that specific school that you're looking for. Also, you want to start thinking about your ACTs, your SATs, and all these other tests that they have, AP tests, all of these tests that they have that helps you get into those schools. So you want to start planning and prepping and taking all of that into consideration. There are a lot of fees and different things like that go into applying to colleges and your senior year in general. And I'm not going to really touch on that today. I'm going to actually get into that in another video, but definitely you want to take your time with this. You do not want to rush this at the very last minute because you want to get the most out of it. You want to be able to schedule like the rest of your classes throughout your high school experience around which school you want to go to. So my suggestion or my advice is to narrow it down to 5 colleges that you are interested in because application fees can get very expensive and you do not want to apply to like 10 or 15 colleges just so you can find out you don't get in. So limit it down to 5 colleges that you really want to attend and then focus on building your curriculum around how you're going to get into those colleges. Also prepare early for like essays and video essays or different things like that. Like they have so much more that they want you to do to get into college. So you need to take the time to prepare for it. Now, if you're not planning on going to college, and this is a bonus part to this tip, then I suggest you start working on resumes or what jobs you're looking to get into, or even if there's a technical school or a small training that you can get into that'll help you ease into your career better. You definitely want to start thinking about this now, and you don't want to wait until you graduate because you would rather get out of high school and let's say you're not going to college, get a better job or a good entry-level job that can lead to something versus getting a job, let's say at a grocery store or a shoe store or something that you don't want to keep forever and it basically shows that you weren't prepared for the transition. Now, I did mention this briefly in my freshman video, but when it comes to building your resume, you can honestly take some of the things that you did in high school and apply them to your resume. A lot of people don't think that you can do that, but you've demonstrated leadership skills, teamwork skills, a lot of things that companies are looking for when it comes to getting a certain job. So especially if you do something like co-op or work study, because they do offer a lot of those things in high school, you can transition a lot easier into that job. So just start planning and looking for that kind of stuff early. And while we're speaking about jobs, that leads me into tip number 3, which I suggest is getting a part-time job. there's a couple of reasons why you need to get a part-time job. First of all, it takes some of the burden off of your parents because your final year of high school is expensive. And you will definitely do well by getting you a part-time job so you can help to pay for some of this stuff. But not only that, it gives you the experience either way. I know there are a lot of people who have like family members or parents or whatever who are going to help them pay for everything because they got it like that. But I honestly think even if your parents have the money, you should take a part-time job just so you can get the experience under your belt. Just so you can have the pleasure of having your own money and deciding what you want to spend it on. Because truth of the matter is, if somebody else is fronting the bill, then somebody else has say. If you want to have all the say, then get you a part-time job, put it out there, get the experience, get the money, and learn how to work within that realm. Because honestly, your parents aren't going to be able to help you all the way down the line. Some people do. Some people do have parents that are going to support them until they pass and leave this earth. Hopefully your parents aren't enabling you to a point where it's hard to transition your life because you don't know how to do anything without them. So that's why I say it's important to get a part-time job. Now, if you don't have parents or guardians that can front the bill, then you get a part-time job for obvious reasons so that you can front the bill. Not only that, but you can start saving up for college because books are expensive. There are so many different things that you can do with a part-time job, especially if you set yourself up earlier, your freshman and sophomore year, like I keep mentioning, where you don't have as many classes or as many important classes your senior year, then you have a little bit more flexibility and you don't have as much homework and stuff to do. You can have a part-time job a lot more comfortable. So definitely start looking into that. Get you a part-time job because it will only help make your senior year that much easier. My next tip number 4, is focus on homecoming and prom. Now listen, definitely plan to have fun on your homecoming and your prom, but I want you to be realistic. And here's the realistic view. It's not like it looks on TV. Everybody's not dancing in choreography and not breaking a sweat and all of that other stuff. In a real prom, those shoes are coming off, that makeup is gonna run, and that dress better be where you can move around in it. The only way you're not gonna be sweaty and nasty by the end of the night is if you're sitting on the side and you're too cute to move. And there's really no fun in that. So, I mean, you definitely want to look cute for your prom. You want to have that beautiful dress, but be realistic when you pick it. Those nice exaggerated dresses with those very long trains, they're beautiful. They're amazing. And they look really good on Instagram, but they are not practical at all to dance with and have fun with. This is going to be your last time at either of these events, at homecoming or at prom in high school. So you want to have the most fun with them. It's your senior year. So, I mean, yes, you definitely want to look cute, but be realistic, be comfortable. Pack you some flip-flops or something like that so eventually you can take those heels off, girls, because they are not all of that once you get to dancing, okay? And then also, if you can, try to get a group of friends to go together on a limo, because not only is it efficient when it comes to money, but it's a lot more fun. You got a whole bunch of you guys like talking and shooting it up in the limo, having a good time before you even get to the thing. And then after you leave the prom, you can all get in this limo together and do things together. You already have your core group of people, so you don't have to look for the party. The party comes with you. So definitely look into investing in a limo or a car or whatever with a couple of people. It just makes it that much easier. Number 5, enjoy the time that you're gonna have with the people you spent the last 4 years with, because honestly, there's a good chance you might not see those people again. I know it's nice to think that we can all be friends forever, and there are some people that you'll be able to carry over throughout certain parts of your life. But the reality is most of the people you know in high school are not going to be a part of your life years on end. So enjoy the time that you have with them. I can honestly say that when I graduated high school, I had about 6 or 7 core friends that we did everything together all through school. We were like the crew, the group, whatever. And I only keep up with one of them to this day. And that's really sad because there are a couple of people in that mix that I really wish I could find and talk to. And even though there are some people that are on social media and we're connected through social media, it really doesn't count if you're not actively involved in each other's life. Like, you're just watching whatever they want you to see on social media, but all that stuff can be fake, it could be whatever. And you're not really like building a relationship, and they're not coming over your house, and you guys aren't doing like adventurous things together. So enjoy the time that you have with these people right now, because this might be the last time you see some of these people. Don't take for granted that time. Tip number 6 is about graduation. And if your school is anything like mine was, don't throw your hat up in the air, because that is the only thing you get to keep. My school had us rent the cap and the gown, but we got to keep the cap and we had to return the gown. So you know how you have in high school on those movies where they're throwing their hats up and they're like, woo, class or whatever. Yeah. I didn't want to lose my hat, the only thing I got to keep. So I sure didn't throw that thing up in the air. So I would suggest not doing that. Now, if they're going to take the robe back, I'd say throw that up in the air. Who cares? It's not yours anyway. But also with that, really focus on getting stuff done the day before. Getting as much done as you possibly can the day before. With the exception for girls being your hair. But don't spend a whole lot of time the day of trying to get your nails done, trying to pick the exact outfit. Because I know a lot of people who do this. And they waited until the day of and then they're rushing and they almost missed their name being called and all this other stuff. You don't want to deal with that. You want that day to go as easy as possible. One, because you definitely want to get enough sleep the night before, because that day is going to be super long. Not only are you going to be dealing with graduation, but right after graduation, you're going to have that moment where you're going to hang out with your family, because all of them are going to want to eat and talk and celebrate you. And then after that, you're going to want to go hang out with your friends one last time. And there's a lot of parties and everything that go on your graduation year. So definitely you want to give yourself enough energy, take some sleep, get your nails and all of that stuff, your nails and your toes done the day before, get your hair done that day, but try to make it, early but not too early, where you could get enough sleep, where you could feel real well rested, because you do not want to be like dragging through that whole day. You want to be as energetic and as excited as possible. Hey guys, so I'm in the process of finishing editing my video for Thursday, but there was a part that I actually forgot to talk about in the video that is really, really important, and that is drinking and doing drugs your senior year. I'm not foolish enough to think that people don't do it, but what I am gonna say is, first of all, you're underage, so please know that you're not allowed to, and if you get caught, you're gonna be in serious trouble. And especially if you're thinking about going to college or you have scholarships in the background, that's just something you don't want hanging over your head. And honestly, it's not worth it at the end of the day, because you're putting yourself and other people in a lot of harm. For years and years and years, there's been campaigns over seniors drinking and driving during prom and graduation, and how many lives they take in the process, and it's really just not worth it. Now, I will say this, I'm not naive to think that you guys aren't going to do it at all. Some people are going to try to sneak and do it or whatever because they're just rebellious, or they think that's going to make the night. I want to say it's not going to make the night. If you want to take that risk or take the chance, just be safe, be careful. Don't go out driving, stay at somebody's house or get a hotel room, and don't put nobody's life in danger. That's the only other advice I can give if you're gonna sneak and do it anyway. But I would honestly say, don't do it. It's not worth it. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's not worth it. You're not gonna have more fun because of it, because you can have just as much fun being sober. Now, next week, I am going to be talking about the cost of senior year and how much everything kind of averages out to. So if you want to catch that video, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Also, make sure you check out my freshman advice for high school and college. And don't forget to check out how to cope with stress. Thank you again for joining me for another video, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.